testing. Alrighty. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. What's up, everybody? It's been a while, hasn't it? I can no longer stream on Instagram because I don't have 1,000 followers. That's okay. I'm here. It's been a while because it's been a rough couple of weeks, months. It's just life has been life, to say the least. Hardest month of my life. Shit has been tough. Shit has been tough. But we are here. We are going to do our best to do the best we can. To be the best we can. It starts with one book at a time. We're here reading Trivium. Credits in the description below. This is part 5 of a series of reading an hour a day, hopefully. Keeps the stupidity away. And we're picking back up on page 102, the 5 phrases, putting it all together. A phrase is a word or a small group of related words. We distinguish, words that functions as a grammatical unit. In English grammar, we distinguish 5 types of phrases, which take their names from their central element, or head word. In addition to the head word, phrases may have pre- and post-head strings composed of determiners, modifiers, objects, complements. Got my handy dandy highlighter. I will be annotating, not as much as I used to, but still annotating because I'm sure I'm going to be coming back to this book for years to come. A noun phrase, as we have already seen, consists of a noun or page 70 through 71 consist of a noun or a pronoun head word and any determiners and modifiers. The insufferable arrogance of human beings to think that nature was made solely for their benefit, as if it was conceivable that the sun had been set afire merely to ripen men's apples and head their cabbages. Cyrano de Bergerac. That is a phenomenal quote, by the way. A verb phrase is composed of a verb head word, which may be preceded by a negative word, such as not or never, as well as any auxiliaries. Wherever you argue with another wiser than yourself in order that others may admire your wisdom, they will discover your ignorance. What a beautiful quote there as well. Wow. You might, from your appearance, be the wife of Lucifer. Nevertheless, you shall not get the better of me. I am an English woman. Charles Dickens. An adjective phrase has an adjective as the head word and may include an adverb or adverb phrase as the pre-head string. The person, be it a gentleman or lady, who has not pleasure in a good novel must be intolerably stupid. Jane Austen. It is a very sad thing that nowadays there is so little useless information. Oscar Wilde. There's so little useless information? I don't know about that statement. They're definitely doing like quotes to that are similar to phrases or noun phrases, verb phrases, adjective phrases. So we're under the adjective phrase, and so this is another quote. I really do not know that anything has ever been more exciting than diagramming sentences. An adverb phrase has an adverb as the head word, with modifiers before and after, or both. Who, and here are some more quotes under the adverb phrase section. Who you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you are saying. Wow. These ones are hitting deep right now. These quotes are just like knives. Knives. The universe is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our wits to grow sharper. Eden Phillips. I'll have quotes for days. A prepositional phrase consists of a preposition. A prepositional phrase consists of a preposition, a noun or pronoun that serves as its complement and any modifiers. Dude, I feel like I'm just so dumb for this information. I gotta do so much work in annotating its meanings. Like, what's a preposition? I know what a preposition phrase is, which consists of a preposition. What's a preposition? A Christmas frost had come at midsummer. A white December storm had whirled over June. Ice glazed the ripple apples. Drifts crushed the blowing roses. On hayfield and cornfield lay a frozen shroud. Lanes which last night blushed full of flowers, today were pathless with untrodden snow, and the woods which 12 hours since waved, leafy and flagrant as groves, between the tropics now spread waste, wild and white as pine forest in wintry Norway, Charlotte Brunettes. And there's this cool hieroglyphic type of AB alphabet. Beautiful quotes, yes. Indeed, they are very beautiful quotes. Hey, the music's supposed to be in there, just wondering. No, the music is not supposed to be in there. Thank you so much for pointing that out. That would have been very annoying. Very annoying. I appreciate that. We continue. Clauses. Elements. A clause is a sentence or sentence-like construction in the English language. There are 7 clause elements. The subject gives the clause its theme or topic. It may be a noun phrase, a participle form, or another clause. The subject performs the action of a verb. See page 70. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Enaisnin. Beautiful quotes, man. Beautiful quotes. I don't know why I keep putting the cap on my highlighter away because I'm going to be highlighting constantly. What I like to drink most is wine that belongs to others. Diogenes. It's a hedonistic quote right there. The verb indicates the occurrence or performance of an action or the existence of a state or condition. The verb must agree with the subject in person and number. Whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. J.W. von Goethe. A direct object directly receives the action of or is affected by the verb. Like the subject, the object of a clause can be a noun, pronoun, noun phrase, present participle, or another clause. Every day we should hear at least one little song, read one good poem, see one exquisite picture, and if possible, speak a few sensible words. Another quote by J.W. von Goethe. An ingredient object receives the action of or benefits from the direct object. If you want to annoy your neighbor, tell the truth about them. Ain't that the truth? A complement is a word, phrase, or clause which is necessary to complete the meaning of a word. A subject complement follows a copular linking verb and completes the meaning of the subject. Copular linking. Dude, this is intense. I'm reading words, but my brain's just like, what are you putting in my head? I'm too stupid for this, but I can do this. We're going to become smarter together. Let's try our best now. Friendship is the shadow of the evening which increases with the setting sun of life. Jean de La Fontaine. A book is a garden, an orchard, a storehouse, a party, a company, by the way, a counselor, a multitude of counselors. The object complement is a noun, noun phrase, adjective, or adjective phrase that modifies or refers to the direct object. I do not say a proverb is amiss when aptly and responsibly applied, but to be forever discharging them, right or wrong, hit or miss, renders conversations insipid and vulgar. These are some intense quotes. At least I don't understand the, indirect object, direct object, subject, verb crap, but all the clauses I need to learn more about, and the grammatic stuff I need to learn more about on my own time, but at least I'm getting good quotes, A ruffled mind makes a relentless pillow. Charlotte Brunette. Hope I'm pronouncing her name right, probably not. Adverbials provide more information about a clause and can be an adverb, adverb phrase, prepositional, and noun phrase, as well as subordinate clause. A clause may contain more than one adverbial. Well, that sounds complicated as shit. Adverbials. I don't want nothing to do with them. Here's a quote underneath it. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. Plato. That's a beautiful quote. Not every clause needs an adverbial, but some verbs are grammatically incomplete without one. Aspects are within us, and who seems most kingly is king. Thomas Hardy. Words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning. Maya Angelou. And that was page 105. We are moving on to page 106. Types of clauses. I'm still trying to figure out what a clause is. My ignorance and stupidity is showing. But we're learning, folks. We're trying. We're going to annotate the shit out of this later tonight. An independent clause is a simple sentence that can stand alone. I think we just learned what a clause is. The creation of 1,000 forests is in one acorn. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So that's an independent clause example, maybe? The greater part of the world's troubles are due to questions and grammar. Michael de Monteneghi. That is a phenomenal quote that resonates with me. A coordinate clause is a clause linked to another clause by a coordinating conjunction, and but, nor, or, then, yet. A coordinate clause. A mother's arms are made of tenderness, and children sleep soundly in them. Victor Hugo. If you do not expect the unexpected, you will not find it, for it is not to be reached by search or trail. Heraclitus. I'm getting better at pronouncing these names, though, that's for sure. And this is absolutely amazing. A subordinate or dependent clause is linked to a main clause by a subordinating conjunction. When one clause complements another clause, it is subordinate to it. There are subordinating conjunctions of time, after, before, as soon as, since, when, whenever, while. All men, whilst they are awake, are in one common world, but each of them, when he is asleep, is in a world of his own. Plutarch. When I get a little money, I buy books, and if there is any left over, I buy food. Cedrus Aramus. I wish I had the same love to nurture my mind with. Concession clause. I think this is another type of clause. Maybe it's not. I'm just saying clause at the end. It's not written there. Concession. Although, even though, despite, except that, much as, not that, whereas, while/whilst. It is the part of a gallant man to say nothing, though he may indicate that he could say a great deal. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is definitely giving me something to think about. Condition. If provided that, as long as, unless. If you lived on cabbage, you would not be obliged to flatter the powerful, to which the courtier, C-O-U-R-T-I-E-R, courtier, replied, if you flattered the powerful, you would not be obliged to live upon cabbage. Diogenes, advice to a young courtier. Reason, because, since, as. Are these still the types of clauses? Probably. A reason clause, it just doesn't say clause at the end. Like a concession clause, a condition clause, a reason clause. Because, since, as. A bird doesn't sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. Maya Angelou. What a beautiful quote, man. What a beautiful quote. Damn. Result. So thus, I love you without knowing how or when or from where. I love you straightforwardly without complexities or pride. So I love you because I know no other way. Pablo Neruda. In comparison, than as. Better by far you should forget and smile than that you should remember and be sad. I don't like that quote. I'd rather remember and be sad. Christina G. Rossetti. A clause can be finite or non-finite. Or is it non-finitive? It's not spelled finitive though, so non-finite. According to its type of verb. A relative clause is a dependent clause generally introduced by a relative pronoun such as who, whom, that, which, whose, when, where. I would venture to guess that Anon, A-N-O-N, Anon, who wrote so many poems without singing them, was often a woman. A nun? Dude, I always thought nuns were like, unless a nun is something different. I thought it was just like N-U-N, like nuns, but maybe it's A-N-O-N. Again, ignorance is showing here. Was often a woman, Virginia Woolf. It's definitely not nuns. A nun is totally something different. Anyway, the reduced relative clause. Okay, so we're back with clauses. I just read a relative clause. Here's the reduced relative clause. Has no relative pronoun, and the verb is not non-finite. But words are things, and a small drop of ink, falling like dew upon a thought, produces that which makes thousands, perhaps millions, think. George Gordon Byron. Dude, get this book, the Trivium! The Trivium! Sentences. Putting it all together. The sentence is the largest unit of grammar. It is often defined as the expression of a complete thought. Although one person's complete thought may not be another's, perhaps the simplest way to define sentence is to say that it is a meaningful string of words with a capital letter at the beginning and a stop of some kind at the end. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny the Father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Be a Capulet. C-A-P-U-L-E-T. William Shakespeare, of course. There are 4 different types of sentences. Exclamatory sentences express strong feeling of emotion. Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Interrogative sentences request information or ask questions. Wherefore art thou Romeo? Imperative sentences request action or give directives or commands. Excuse me. Request action or give directives or command. Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Declarative sentences make statements or convey information. I'll no longer be a Capulet. Sentences can also vary in complexity. A simple sentence has a single verb phrase and is made up of one independent clause. Necessity has the face of a dog. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Brevity is the soul of wit. William Shakespeare. A compound sentence consists 2 or more independent clauses, which may be linked by coordinating a conjunct or a comma or semicolon. She might have beguiled, beguiled, beguiled the loneliness of her days with old songs and poems, but she really did not have much feeling for such things. Murasaki Shikibu, Transg Sticker, in parentheses. Age considers youth ventures. Rabindranath Tagore. Age considers youth ventures. Damn, dude. Damn. These quotes are like plucking at my soul right now. A complex sentence consists of one main clause and at least one subordinate clause. When we remember we are all mad, the mysterious disappears and life stands explained. Mark Twain. How did it happen that their lips came together? How does it happen that birds sing, that snow melts, that the rose unfolds, that the dawn whitens behind the stark shapes of trees on the quivering summit of the hill? A kiss, and all was said. Victor Hugo. A compound complex sentence is a compound sentence with more than one main clause and at least one subordinate clause. We are not satisfied with real life. We want to live some imaginary life in the eyes of other people and to seem different from what we actually are. Blaise Pascal. What is life? A madness. What is life? An illusion, a shadow, a story, and the greatest good is little enough. For all life is a dream, and dreams themselves are only dreams. Pedro Calderon de la Barca. That was a depressing quote. Damn, made me sad as hell. Hope life's just nothing but a dream. I mean, not only a dream. Most written clauses express statements. For example, when making a legal point, presenting an argument, or leading a philosophical discussion. However, in everyday language, the situation is rather different. In slang, dialect, and common communication, long grammatically correct sentences are the exception rather than the rule. If you were to record everything you said during a day, how many whole sentences would there be? Most utterances consist merely of short phrases, questions and answers, idioms, slangs, imperatives, or even single words. You coming? Not yet. What a huge car. Could be worse. Get in. Oh wow. Yeah, right. Let's go. Grammarians have only relatively recently started looking more carefully into everyday language. Only recently, too, has the science of grammar finally broken free from natural tongues, though the study of artificial languages, such as Esperanto, computer language, pioneered by Alan Turing, and the linguistic interpretation of other information such as DNA. Modern grammar has two branches. The first use mathematical and computational techniques to delve into the information, how the information is coded, interpreted, and translated from one medium to another. Can we reduce the content of a spoken sentence to an ideal language or code to help translate it into any other language? A subject pioneered by Noam Chomsky. It appears that the human brain is primed at birth to learn language and grammar quickly, so a child who has not been exposed to language by the age of 4 will never learn to speak properly. There seems to be something common to all human minds, and there is this code underneath 0100110100, and it just continues randomly. But anyways, minds in structuring thoughts, something categorical involving elemental differentiations between substance, action, space, and time. The second modern approach to grammar is more humanistic and interaction-based, focusing on the speaker and listener, known as speech act theory. It asks, what is somebody actually doing when they say something? Here is a minimum list of speech acts. Representatives, speech acts that commit a speaker to the truth of the expressed proposition, e.g. statements in court or in a paper. Directives, speech acts that aim to cause the hearer to take a particular action, e.g. requests, commands, and advice. Commissives, ISSIVES. Speech acts that commit a speaker to some future action, e.g. promises and oaths. Expressives, speech acts that express a speaker's attitudes and emotions toward the proposition, e.g. congratulations, excuses, and thanks. Excuses. Declarations, EXCUSES, that's excuses, right? I'm pretty sure. Declarations, speech acts that change the reality in accord with the proposition of the declaration, e.g. baptism, pronouncing someone guilty, or pronouncing offside in football. The science of grammar can be viewed as loose descriptive or tight normative perspective, or it may be enlarged to the rules and devices governing communication and persuasion on a larger scale, in which case we enter the realms of logic and rhetoric covered elsewhere in this volume. See page 177 through 231 and 237 through 291. Book 3. Are we done grammar? Poetic meter and form. There is a beautiful picture here of this musical tree. Page 117, the text start, but there's a few more images. Very abstract. If you want to check them out, get the book. Introduction. People have been writing poems for a very long time. The Sanskrit epic Ramayana dates to around 300 BC and is still popular throughout India, Cambodia, Indonesia, and Thailand. The Chinese Xingqing, or Book of Songs, contains 305 poems dating from the 11th to 7th century BC. Poem meaningfully pattern the musical features of language. Poems meaningfully pattern the musical features of language, using rhythm, pitch, and timbre, texture, timbre, which is in parentheses texture, timbre, and often grasp at truths that resist the logical pen of prose, prose. This book looks at the patterns of poetry, its shapes and rhythms, through foot, meter, and form. The word poetry derives via Latin from the Greek term poen, to make. In the Archaic period, 800 to 480 BC, poetry was largely improvised orally, often combined by music, derived from the Greek word mousike, music, having often accompanied by music, derived from the Greek word music. I'm not even going to try to say that again. Having to do with the muses. In the classical period, 480 to 323 BC, poetry began to be performed with the other verbal arts, rhetoric, public speaking, and drama. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. Had to mute for a minute. All right. Now, classical period, 480 to 323 BC, poetry began to be performed with the other verbal arts, rhetoric, public speaking, and drama, and some poems were memorized and written down. Ancient European poetry was often sung, land songs, Anglo-Saxon oar songs, OAR songs, Celtic smith songs, Greek altar songs, medieval court songs, and children's songs. The vast majority of pre-12th century English poetry is lost, but the Anglo-Saxons and Vikings brought with them a canon of verse full of epic myth, which rolled and rode to a 4-beat turn, with a stress on the first syllables of words, forming an earthy rhythm. Other settlers who followed them sometimes emphasized the ends of words, encouraging rhymes, and a lighting upward beat. These two opposing styles combined in the daily rhythms of speech, poetry, and song. Later, the Crusades and the Renaissance brought with them the Greek and Roman classics, encouraging poets of the time to imitate the ancient forms. Patterns in language, rhythm, meter, rhyme, and form. Listen to people speaking in any language, and one can immediately detect patterns of various kinds. From language itself, it's innately suited for song and chant. In its spoken form, it's an echo of ancient music and poetry. The most basic pattern of language is its rhythm, heard as a beat. The beat is pitter, 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 pit, patter. No, pitter, patter, pitter, patter. Okay. In poetry, rhythm is most clear when spoken aloud, mainly as the effect of syllables and stresses. The majority of European Romance languages derived from Latin are syllable timed, their natural rhythm resting on the number of syllables in words, phrases, and sentences. French, Canada. All syllables stress equally, Canada. English, on the other hand, is derived from West Germanic languages and relies heavily on the stresses placed on syllables. It is stress timed. It is as though when walking, the basic rhythmical left-right pattern develops a bias towards one or other foot, a little like the way the British often accent the first syllable of a word, while Americans emphasize the second last. UK debris, US debris, or UK debris, U.S. debris. Debris. I'm probably butchering that. They have the accent mark on different versions, but you get what the point is. In prosody, 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 these different kinds of rhythmical stress units are known as feet. Add some sway into your walk, and a longer foot emerges. Left 2, 3, right 2, 3. Accented syllables marked A-E-I-O-U with the little dash above them, and the feet they define divided by 1 or I became the foundation of post-13th century English poetry. We will meet the various feet in the pages which follow, pages 122 through 129, and learn how they may be formally combined into a line of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 feet, which is then said to have a poetic meter, pages 130 through 135. Poetic lines combine into larger units, stanzas, pages 146 through 155, which can be 2 lines, couplets, 3, triplets, 4, quatrains, Q-U-A-T-R-A-I-N-S, quatrains, I'm not going to try to say it again, or more, sometimes, with occasional lines repeated as refrains. A finished poem may contain anywhere between 1 and over 2,000 stanzas, which some poetic forms, 2,000 stanzas is insane, poetic forms dictating exactly how many stanzas are required, closed or fixed forms, and others allowing the poet more flexibility, open forms. The final part of this book examines some of the more popular poetic forms, pages 156 through 169. There is a second obvious pattern of language, rhyme. This might be thought as a natural phenomenon, since language uses a limited number of sounds to create words, yet 2/3 of the world's language do not use poetic rhyme. The earliest known use of rhyme dates back to the Book of Songs, and it arrived in Europe from China via Middle Eastern trade routes, though ancient Rome and Persia mystery cults informed trade routes through ancient Rome and Persian mystery cults informed Celtic Ireland around the 3rd through 4th centuries BC. During the Middle Ages, English poetic rhyme was based on alliteration, where words start with the same stress consonant, C-O-N-S-O-N-A-N-T, 5/feet, and assonance, A-S-S-O-N-A-N-C-E, where words share the same vowel sounds, black hat. But by the 14th century, perfect rhyme, bright, night, light, was found in all European poetry, becoming ubiquitous in English verse around the 16th through 17th century. See pages 142 through 143. There are other interesting patterns that words make and which poets use, and these are explored later in the book, pages 170 through 171. Indeed, the building blocks and tools of poetry are reflections and refinements of natural patterns already present in language. Poetry may require effort and skill to write, but we all experience the simple delight of words which beat and rhyme, and which at the right time can find easy passage into hearts and minds. That is page 119. We are now on page 120. Essential or syllabic. Essential or syllabic. A-C-C-E-N-T-U-A-L, essential or syllabic, S-Y-L-L-A-B-I-C, all about the rhythm. Meter is counted in different ways. Essential meter is a natural mode of English verse and appears in Irish, Celtic, Old Norse, Anglo-Saxon, and Middle English poetry. As Beowulf, Beowulf, and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, as well as nursery rhymes, football chants, traditional ballads, ballads, and literary imitations by Coleridge, Hopkins, Yeats, and others. For example, "Ba ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. One for the master and one for the dame, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane." Note how the number of stresses remains constant despite the changing syllable count. Since essential verse counts only the stresses in a poetic line, there may be any number of weak syllables in any part. See page 140. Syllabic verse, by contrast, purely counts the number of syllables in a line and is common in syllable-timed languages such as Spanish, French, Italian, and Baltic and Slavic languages, Turkish, Cantonese, and Japanese. For example, Dylan Thomas' 1946 poem, "In My Craft or Sullen Art," uses 7 syllables in each line, but has no regular stress pattern. Syllabic verse. "In my craft or sullen art, exercised in the still night, when only the moon rages, and the love's light abide." ABED, abed. "With all their griefs in their arms, I labor by singing light, not for ambition or bread, or the strut and trade of charms on the ivory stages, but for the common wages of their most secret heart." The strictest form of poetic meter is essential syllabic. Here both the number of stresses and the number of syllables are fixed. If most lines in a poem have the same number of syllables and stresses, or the poem has repeating patterns of them, then it is essential syllabic verse, as in this 1963 example from the Gashly Crumb Tennies by Edward Gorey. A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. B is for Basil, A's, as salted, salted, SAULTED, but the A has like a accent mark above it. Salted by bears. I'm not going to try to say that again. C is for Clara, who wasted away. D is for Desmond, thrown out of a sleigh. In quantitative meter, used in ancient Greek, Roman, and Sanskrit poetry, it is the length of syllables in time that counts. Feet are durational rather than essential, and each syllable is either long, longis, Longis, or short, brevis, Brevis. Syllables are in English are likewise of different lengths, but although these lengths do affect the rhythm of speech, they disappear alongside the strong rhythms created by the patterns of stressed and unstressed syllables. Some resonance poets attempt to write English verse in quantitative meter, though with limited success. In the example below from Edmund Spenser's 1579 poem Imbicium Tremetum, notice the rhythms of durations over stresses. Unhappy verse, the witness of my unhappy state, make thyself fluttering wings of thy fast flying, thought, and fly forth unto my love, wheresoever she be. There are a few other examples, however, in this short book. In order to achieve our purpose, we will learn our feet in meters via more easily scannable poems, primarily employing the familiar rhythms of English essential syllabic verse. (122) already. The spondee, sponde, dum-dum. S-B-O-N-D-E-E, and there's literally a dum-dum underneath it. D-U-M-D-U-M. The basic element of meter is a foot, which consists of stressed classical long or unstressed classical short beats or syllables. The punchiest of the feet and the symbol of rhythm itself is the spondee, which two stressed beats ... It kicks hard. Rare in poems, you are more likely to hear it in political slogans or football chants, or read it on road signs. Slow down, turn right, give way, think bike. The repetitive stress of the spondee may be heard in stressful situations, jump, jump, or compounded as mayday, mayday. Shakespeare uses it in Troilus and Cressida, cry, cry, Troy burns, or else let Helen go. Spondees are often mixed with less forceful feet to make a point. Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue, or to create a stop at the end of a line. True ease in writing comes from art, not chance. Two spondees placed together make a dispondee. Examples are the giant's call, fee, fi, fum, fo, fum, or the multiple rhyming how now, brown cow. A rare example of a despondic poem is e.g. Thrib's 1967 Bonfire Song. Sunshine, moon curl, rain wash, earth whirl, fire fork, Eric furl, song boy, sing girl. The spondee is the most insistent syncorporation of meter. Syncopation. S-Y-N-C-O-P-A-T-I-O-N. Syncopation. I don't even know these words. I feel like an idiot, but that's what we're reading. Let's continue. The Pyrrhic. DD. The opposite of the spondee is the Pyrrhic foot. P-Y-R-R-H-I-C. Like the hollow victory to which the word now alludes, the Pyrrhic consists of two unstressed syllables. Edgar Allan Poe, 1809-49, dismissed it entirely as a chimerical, C-H-I-M-E-R-I-C-A-L, chimerical foot, an irritation nonity, for it is almost impossible to construct an entirely Pyrrhic line or poem out of things like is a, and the, into any. Instead, these little feet work best combined and contrasted with more stressed feet to punctuate the line. Welsh blues poet Dylan Evans combines a Pyrrhic foot with a spondee to form a minor ionic in Old Coals. A minor ionic. I-O-N-C-I-O-N-I-C. Pyrrhic plus spondee equals minor ionic. See a dead man in a black hole in the heartbreak of a lone soul. A spondee in front of a Pyrrhic foot creates the rare and exciting major ionic. Spondee plus Pyrrhic equals major ionic. I hope I'm saying that right. I-O-N-I-C, ionic. Yeah, dum dum ditty. Squeeze tight. It actually said dum dum ditty in the book. Anyway, squeeze tight. It's a hot night, and the pyrrhic foot is suggestive of further hidden rhythms, as well as the syllables which may be so weak as to be silent or missing altogether. The trochee, trochee, trochee. The trochee, Trochee, Dum-dee, a poetic unit consisting of a stressed syllable followed by an unstressed one, period, filled in like a black dot and a white dot next to each other, is called a trochee. In musical terms, it is a strong beat followed by a weaker one, a long note preceding a shorter one. Imagine a sergeant major shouting left, right, left, right, left, right. The emphasis may be slight, but many of us put our best foot first and walk in trochees. Whew! What a bar! What a bar! Oh, that gave me tingles, dude. That's a quote. It wasn't even meant to be a quote, but that's a quote. The emphasis may be slight, but many of us put our best foots forward first and walk in trochees. Damn. I'm guilty, man. Linguists speculate that there may be a trochaic bias in early childhood, with baby words like mummy, daddy, happy, cuddle, hungry, bedtime, iPad. Following this pattern, Dr. Theodore Seuss Geisel, 1904 to 91, used it widely. Simple trochee verse. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, black fish, blue fish, old fish, new fish. When trochees are compounded, they form trochaic verse. Many nursery rhymes use 4 trochees. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. Per line. E.g., simple Simon or. Trochaic tetrameter. Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife but couldn't keep her. I felt that. Lines of trochaic meter often lose weak stresses at the ends of lines, cataclitic, or add extra stresses to the beginnings of lines, hypercataclitic. Trochaic tetrameter, trimeter. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. The lamb, didum, D-I-D-U-M, 2 words. The inverse of trochee is no, it's not lamb, it's iamb, I-A-M-B, all one word. Iamb, I hope I'm saying that right. An unstressed syllable followed by a stressed one, so it's just the reverse of a trochee. The most common foot in English verse, like the trochee, is the iamb, reflects the natural rise of fall of speech. Words like behold, amuse, arise, elect, return, and insist are all iambs. I insist. Sun arise. We elect. In his poem Upon His Departure, hence Robert Henrick, 1591 to 1679, interesting life, used a single iambic foot for each line. Thus I pass by and die as one unknown and gone. I'm made a shade and laid. When several iambs are placed one after the other, they create an iambic rhythm, dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. In this satirical example, Samuel Johnson, 1709 to 84, alternates 4 and 3 iambs, a ballad stanza, page 148, iambic tetrameter, trimeter, and tetrameter. I put my hat upon my head and walked into the Strand, and where I met another man whose hat was in his hand. 5 iambs from Shakespeare's mighty iambic pentameter. If music be the food of love, play on. Lines of 6 and 7 are popular too. But why stop there? Here are lines of 8 iambs by W.S. Gilbert from The Pirates of Penzance. 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 Alright, I'm done. Moving on. Oh, God. Iambic octameter. I am the very model of modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I've information. And it's like spaced weirdly, but I think we'll do one more page. Penzance. I'm just information overload. That's what I am. The dactyl. D-A-C-T-Y-L. Dumb ditty. The dactyl is a threefold equivalent of the torchy and has a strong beat followed by 2 weak ones. This makes for a waltzing rhythm. Waltzing. That's a cool word. W-A-L-T-Z-I-N-G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Words like buffalo, strawberry, pat a cake, P-A-T-A cake. Interesting, pat a cake. Everywhere. Synthesis and merely dactylic. The word dactyl comes from the Greek forefinger, dactylus, D-A-K-T-Y-L-O-S. Since a long bone is followed by 2 short ones, 2 dactyls form a double dactyl. Sounds like a fucking dinosaur. Double dactyl Rex. And this forms the basis of a poetic form designed by Anthony Hecht and John Hollander in 1966. Higgledy. No one's gonna watch this. Higgledy. Siriji Ranch Minov wrote his concretos for handspans like wings. Few realistically can painstakingly, digitalistically play the damned things. That's a mouthful. Double didactyl. 4 dactyls make dactylic tetrameter. I don't ever want to know what a dactyl tetrameter if I just barely could say double didactyls. In The Bride of Abydos, Lord Byron. 1788 to 1824. Amidst many unstressed cataclytic syllables at the end of his lines, aiding them as hypercatalectic syllables to the beginning of the next. Didactyl tetrameter. Here we go. Know ye the land where the cypress and myrtle are emblems of deeds that are done in there. Clime, spelled C-L-I-M-E, where the rage of the vulture, the love of the turtle, now melt into softness now maiden to crime, know ye the land of the cedar and vine, where the flowers ever blossom, the beams ever shine. 6 dactyls form dactylic hexameter, one of the primary meters of the classical world, widely used by Homer and Virgil. The anapest, diddy dum. How many frickin' poetic frickin' god damn tongue twisters. This is a workout, dude. A grouping of 3 syllables which saves its kick until the end is called an anapest. The waltz goes 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Antiseptic words like violin, indirect, misconceive, religion, religin, and untoward are examples of this foot. 2 anapests, again it's spelled A-N-A-P-E-S-T-S, make antiseptic dimeter. And here is Dr. Seuss again from his 1954 book, Horton Hears a Who, antiseptic dimeter. On the 15th of May, in the jungle of Knoll, in the heart of the day, in the cool of the pool. 4 anapest from the antiseptic tetrameter, a fine example of which is Lord Byron's destruction of Sennacherib, Sennacherib, first published in 1815, antiseptic tetrameter. The Assyrian came down. It's Asssyrian, and it's kind of divided to show the tetrameter better. Came down like the wolf on the fold, and his cohorts were gleaming in purple and gold, and the sheen of their spears was like stars on the sea when the blue wave rolls nighty on deep Galilee. G-A-L-I-L-E with the accent mark E. A variation appears in the well-known The Night Before Christmas by Clement Clark Moore, 1779 through 1863. Note this omission of the first syllables of lines 3 and 4, which produces acephalous, A-C-E-P-H-A-L-O-U-S, or heedless lines. Antiseptic tetrameter. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. And we will be picking back up on page 128, the amphibach. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for butchering all the words. That was brutal. I can't even imagine what it's like for you guys, because for me, I'm just like... You're still bearing with me. Shout out to my couple viewers that stopped by. We will be continuing getting back into this book an hour a day to keep the stupid away. Pray for me. I need it. This month, man, has been really tough. And life has been life, but never giving up. Never giving up. Nonetheless, guys, stay safe. Wishing nothing but love, peace, joy, health, wealth, friends, family, prosperity, all the good things in life I didn't mention and more. You guys deserve it, whether you believe it or not. You gotta start with loving yourself, though. Nonetheless, take care, guys. Peace.
That's our family, you plus me with a barbecue in the backyard. Bunch of crazy kids that's running around, and that's our family, you plus me. 3 puppies, that's a barbecue. say I didn't want to start a family too, a million miles from where I want to be, but I'm still trying to start a family, trying to change the world with you. The truth is, I wish I was a better man. Wish I never hurt again. Wanna be a cowboy free.